There's a handshake coming.
Yes.
Why are you going round?
Yes.
Why are you going through the corner?
That one I've given you a straight yes. Uhuru said that nobody can work on their own. Nobody can succeed on their own. And I can tell you, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua, if not tomorrow or tomorrow but one, they will shake hands in the near future. They will have to work together. They'll have to agree. They'll have to bury the hatchet.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't have a choice anyway.
And speaking of abuses, just the other day, now it's Wiper Front, not Wiper Party. Wiper Front leader Kalonzo Musyoka went to Opoda Farm. And he made a political statement in terms of the number of people he went with, delegation, the number of cows he went, the way he was received by Orengo and visiting Anyang' Nyong'o and Mama Ida. And politically, the statement was made, although he denied it was not political. That's just politics anyway. And then online, there was a lot of people who seemed now to fight what he was doing and saying he was not Raila's best friend. No, he was, what's going on with Kalonzo? Why is he a threat?
You see, first they ignore you. And this is Mahatma Gandhi who said that. First they ignore you. And then they laugh at you. And then they fight you. And then you win. First they ignore you. Then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. They ignored Kalonzo for a very long time. And then they started laughing at him and calling him watermelon. Hey, watermelon, watermelon. After that, they have started fighting Kalonzo. So we are at stage 3. There's only one stage remaining. Kalonzo is going to win. Whether they like it or not.
Win what?
What else? Kalonzo is going to be president.
So is it official that United Opposition is going with Kalonzo?
They haven't made it official. They don't even need to make it official. But when you look at the pros and cons of all the candidates they have, it's only common sense that he's the person that the United Opposition should front. It's common sense.
So he's a threat?
And a big one.
Why?
When you hear the president saying, sijui mtu ameanza kuisha nywele, all those sorts. Why are they attacking him? Kalonzo is at stage 3. If you are a politician, people have ignored you. Have they ignored the other candidates? They don't even talk about them. Have they laughed at the other candidates? I haven't seen anybody laughing at any of the other candidates who is offering themselves. I haven't. Nobody is coughing at the other candidates, and I don't want to mention their names. Nobody is fighting any of the other candidates. Have you seen people fighting any other candidate within the United Opposition? Nobody is fighting them.
Well, Matiang'i has been.
Matiang'i has not been fought. By who? Tell me one person who is fighting Matiang'i.
The powers that be.
No, they are not fighting Matiang'i. If anything,
even the young people have called him out.
If anything, the people who I know who are speaking for Matiang'i are bashing Rigathi Gachagua every day. And they are bashing Martha Karua and all the other people within the United Opposition. And they are creating a wedge and a rift. I think Matiang'i is a good candidate, no doubt. But at the same time, those people who have been mandated to sell him, and I call them parrots, are not selling him properly. Because half the time, they are telling people how Rigathi is bad, and then they come and say, so my candidate is Matiang'i. Half the time they are coming to tell, Martha Karua cannot do this, Kalonzo is like this, then you ask them, so they tell you for that reason. I think Matiang'i should be their candidate because he is their candidate, not because the others are bad. They need to rethink how they sell Matiang'i because he's not a bad human being. He's not terrible. At least he's better than William Ruto. But if anybody has been mandated to sell Matiang'i, he needs to realize that it's not calling the others terrible that will make Matiang'i president. It is selling Matiang'i for who he is that will make him acceptable to the people.
Okay, what ideologies do you think Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka stands for?
I'll tell you this. I don't hold brief for him.
Yeah, and I haven't seen him talk about it. So
I'll tell you
just
this.
from as an outsider.
You see, Kalonzo Musyoka, the reason Kenyans are vouching for him, first is we've had a very imperial president. out there, chest thumping, noise making all over the place. Kenyans want to tone that down. They want a calm presidency. They want a quiet presidency. Kalonzo presents that. He brings a presidency that looks like, this country has got sportsmen. It has got very many people, musicians. There was a time when Kibaki was president, when names of musicians like Nameless would be heard more times than the president. And that's what we want. If you think about Germany and any other country,
so what's the ideology there?
No, first, there's a reason as to why. When you have a president who tones down the political rhetoric, the country grows. Right now, there are people who even want to travel to Kenya for tourism for 2026. But they're already thinking 2026 will be too violent. It will have too much politics. We will lose a lot of money from tourism alone. But when you have, do you know in 2007, Kenya recorded more than 1 million tourists. And it was an election year. Just before, because people saw Kibaki as a calm leader. We had campaigns, but we had very many tourists coming. So we need a president who tones it down. That's the first thing. The second thing that we expect from Kalonzo Musyoka is not anything new to start with. We don't need it. We want a restoration. We want a president who can restore NHIF because it was working. We want somebody who can restore the university funding model that was helped. We want a president who can restore some of those things that have been undone by this administration. Just first bring them back. That alone will change this country. We have pending bills. We want someone who can come and say, let's not do new projects. Let's first pay these people who are committing suicide because they've not been paid. So sometimes you don't even need a president who will come and do magic. What you need is a president who will come and restore what was working. Because in restoring what was working, you've done a lot of magic. But also, there's something about Kalonzo Musyoka. And I don't know why I'm speaking too much about him today, but how much blood is on his hands when we think about it from what we can remember? So at least we know there's someone we can say has not been known to kill our young people. And therefore, I don't think he will start when he's president. So for us, that's the other thing. That don't build for us a road and then kill 200, 300, 400 children. If we had to choose between our children and the road, we'll choose our children.
Why do you think critics think that Kalonzo has no balls to take stands on things?
He doesn't need to have them. He doesn't need to have them.
No, you can't be a president who doesn't take a stand.
This country does not need a president who takes a stand. For example, if you read our constitution, the police is supposed to be an independent outfit that should not take instructions from anybody. So why do you need an imperial president dictating to the police what they need to do? When you think about our constitution, it says parliament is supposed to move on its own motion. So why do you need an imperial president coming to push parliament? The judiciary is an independent outfit. So why create an independent judiciary, independent parliament, independent IEBC, independent police force, and then come and create a warlord of a president to lord over everybody? We need a quiet head of state who allows, if the policemen make a mistake, the judiciary is independent. The judiciary deals with the policemen. Okay? If parliament makes a mistake, a civilian goes to court. The court deals with parliament. If IEBC is to conduct elections, as the president, you're just providing oversight and management. So that then this idea of independent electoral then works. But the problem with us is we are saying we have systems. We are saying we want to have an independent police force. And then we want a warlord of a president to come and lord over these institutions. We must allow institutions to work. And in 2027, we don't need a dictator. I am telling Kenyans, we have systems. Even if you don't vote for Kalonzo, I'm not here to hold brief for him. I'm not here to campaign for him. But I'm telling Kenyans, even if you don't vote for him, vote for somebody who will give independence that is due to our organs. And you will see the country flourish.
True.
Yeah.